Oh my, how does my affairs end up in probate court? Oh, hey there folks, elder law care attorney Patrick Kelleher coming to you from elderlawcare.com. Hey folks, today's question is, what is a reciprocal agreement in estate planning? Folks, from my experience, a reciprocal agreement in estate planning oftentimes is referred to as an I love you will. And typically it may be seen commonly when you have a rather simple estate between a married couple, Bill and Mary. They have a rather modest estate. Bill has his will, a stack of documents, and Mary has her will, a stack of documents. And they're reciprocal. Some folks refer to it as a mirror will. So Bill's will says, everything that I own when I go up to my cloud someday goes to my beloved Mary. And Mary's will is reciprocal, or it mirrors what her spouse Bill's will says. Mary says, when I go someday, everything I own, if Bill's still here, goes to my beloved Bill. And from my experience, folks, this type of scenario or type of planning usually may work only if it's a very modest estate. And if you read my book at all, you'll understand eventually that reciprocal will end up in probate court, okay? Because the old saying is, people die, trusts do not. A trust would keep it out of probate court so long as the assets were titled or funded to the trust or a treasure chest. But your will is your admission ticket to probate court, which is what I refer to as the ugly, dreaded milk crate. And when things go off to probate court, then the meter's running for the family, paying the probate attorney, and the probate court costs, and newspaper publications, and putting creditors on notice, and so on and so on. So now you have the stresses and messes of probate court, or the economic and emotional headaches of probate court. So typically, a reciprocal agreement, or mirror will, or I love you will send your affairs off to the probate court, hence the reason why we call it a stack of documents. And the old saying is, oftentimes a $500 will cost the family a lot more later in life, or will give the family about $500 worth of protection, okay? I'll give you 3 reasons why it should not be used. A reciprocal will, number 1, go off to probate court someday. Number 2, it's not going to provide any tax planning for the estate death tax. And number 3, it's not going to provide any asset protection for the children or the grandchildren. It's not going to slay the third-headed beast. It's not going to avoid what we refer to as financial creditors and predators, okay? Because a will typically does not include asset protection like a trust would, okay? And also, if it's a second or subsequent marriage with Brady Bunch situation, got to be very, very careful of the third-headed monster there, potential financial creditors and predators. Because we had a case many years ago, no names of course, a gentleman remarried, he had a standard reciprocal will. He named his beloved bride, we'll call her Betty, and he said, when I'm gone, my beloved Betty gets she gets everything I have, including my real estate, my retirement, all that stuff. When he died, Betty got everything, per his wishes. He named his son from his first marriage as the contingent beneficiary. Well, guess what happened? When he died, Betty went back to the attorney, and what did Betty do? That is correct. Betty created her own will. And now who did Betty name as the beneficiaries in her will? She named all of her children. She disinherited her stepson. So when Betty died, the stepson contacted the attorney, who did not respond, and the stepson contacted me, engaged my services. I sent a letter to the original attorney inquiring about what occurred. And the original attorney responded, Patrick, this is what happened. After his dad died, Betty came back to the attorney and she created her own will, and she named her children as the beneficiary of all. She, in a sense, disinherited her stepson completely, 100%. So he got nothing. That was a quintessential $500 will that gave that poor son $500 worth of protection. So folks, the devil's in the details. Be very, very careful. Always work with a qualified estate elder law attorney when you're planning your affairs. Folks, if you found this video helpful, please scroll down, post a comment, post a question, because a member of our team will get back to you as soon as possible. If you'd like to learn more, please pick up a copy of my book on Amazon, How to Avoid the Four-Headed Monster of Estate Planning and Elder Law, or go to elderlawcare.com also to pick up a copy of the book and watch some of our other educational videos. Folks, hope to see you next time at elderlawcare.com.